The AgXcel GX2 electric diaphragm series of pumps has been a really popular series of pumps for over 10 years now. It's a very cost-effective way to put out an in-furrow fertilizer on planters that are 16 rows and smaller, and they're very sufficient at putting out every in-furrow rate. They can even be used on some high-speed applications as well, depending on your bar size and also your flow rate. Looking at this model of electric pump that we have, this is the most common model that goes out. Probably 90% of guys that order a GX2, this is the kind of chassis, the kind of plumbing design that they're getting. So looking at this system, you will have your inlet here. This is a three-way ball valve. So you can choose to, if you want to have a rinse tank, you can turn the ball valve, you can pull from a rinse tank, or else you can keep it in the other position and pull from your fertilizer tank. As you're pulling flow, we'll have a filter here. We can put whatever mesh filter you want in here. Commonly, more and more, as guys are using biological fertilizers, they want to use a 30 mesh filter, and we can do that no problem. Then you can get more of those micronutrients down to the furrow. As you go through the filter, we have 2 of the 5.3 gallon per minute pumps on here. These pumps work in series together so that we can get more flow out of this pump system, and that is due to our 40 amp PWM driver. So this is AgXcel's designed PWM driver. You would put 12 volts directly from the battery of your tractor into this PWM. There's one outlet where it connects to the pump, so it'll regulate the voltage to the pump. That's how you get your variable flow rate, so you can lock in on your target rate. And then we have our signal line from our liquid controller telling us what rate we need to run at. We have 5 different lights on here. We made diagnostics really simple with our PWM. You have a green light, means you have power from your battery. There's a clear bulb. When the system is running, it'll flash blue. That tells you that it's getting the signal from the liquid controller to turn the pump on and to lock in on rate. At the very end, there's an orange light. That'll tell you feedback from the pumps that it is actually running. So when this system is in use, you'll have a solid green, a solid orange, and a flashing blue. And then you have a red bulb and a yellow bulb. Obviously, those are your kind of cautious bulbs. If the red bulb is on, you might have some kind of power issue. You could have maybe a corroded pin, burnt pin, you're getting too many amps to the PWM. And then the yellow bulb would be an overheating issue. Out of the past probably 8 years of doing this, I've only had about 4 guys that have ever had the yellow light or the red light on. So the AgXcel PWMs, out of the hundreds and hundreds that have been sold, they're very reliable. So we're very proud of them. They've worked very well. When you come out of the pumps, they'll Y back together. They'll come into this cross. So here you have a recirculation valve. If you want it to agitate, you can send that back to your tank, or you can send it back to the inlet of the pump system as well and recirculate your flow from there. We have a bleeder valve for priming the system. With the electric pump, we'd recommend you keep this pretty close to the tanks. They're not as good at pulling product as the hydraulic diaphragm pumps are, but these pumps are a lot better at pushing product than they are at pulling product. So keep this as close to the tank as possible. You'll have a really good time with it. This would be a ball valve, so if you wanted to close this 2-way ball valve and then just recirculate everything back to the tank so nothing comes out to the rows, you can do that. Or else typically you'll leave it open so flow can pass through. And then we have a couple different types of flow meters that can be used. We use magnetic flow meters, but the kind of models we have can vary. This one is our Orion 3 model magnetic flow meter. There's an Orion 2 Plus model flow meter as well. Really the benefits of them are just different flow ranges depending on your application. So if you have section valves and if a lot of those sections are shut off, we can make sure that the flow meter can read down low enough to whatever your lowest rate is, so we can still read the flow rate and accurately put out the flow that you need. And then we have models that can reach a higher flow rate as well, even higher than what this pump can put out, but it still reaches the low end so that you can hit every rate of what this pump system would need. Another model of our GX2 is this older tower system that you have. All the components on it are essentially the same. It's just the chassis itself is different. So looking at the inlet side, on your right side, we would have a filter here, and we can put whatever size filter you want on here. Again, commonly guys are using 30 mesh, 50 mesh filters. We can do 80, 110 mesh filters, whatever you need. As we come out of the filter here on the pull side, we'll go into each pump, one on the left side, one on the right side. Same thing, 2 of the 5.3 gallon per minute pumps on it, so you can get up to about 5 gallon per minute out of this. As we come out of the pumps on the back side, they'll Y together. We have another bleeder valve there as well for priming the system. And then they'll come into this outlet filter here. You will have your recirculation valve. We will have this plumbed into the inlet of the pump system for you, but if you wanted to run it back to the tank for an agitation, you can cut the hose, put a new hose there, run it to the tank, no problem. More and more guys are doing that now with biologicals that are being used, and it's no problem. Before that recirculation valve, though, as you come out of the filter, you'll tee up into your flow meter. We would use a magnetic flow meter. This one is the Orion 2 Plus model magnetic flow meter. And then we would have our outlet. Then we can go to either our GX7 electric row monitor manifold, or we can go to a red ball sight glass manifold, some kind of wet boom manifold, whatever is there. If you were to have section valves, just like on the other chassis, we can mount those section valves right on top, and then you can run the hoses from there down to your row.